Next is all about blockchain and title. So I want you to kind of dive in because we know that obviously if it's not recorded at the courthouse, you're not protected. And we know there are different types of title, right? And so we'd love to kind of dive into this and just help people understand what they need to be looking for, what steps they need to take to make sure they're protecting themselves.
Absolutely. So in the very inception of consortia, people would come to me and they'd say, Teresa, with title, with blockchain, you can get rid of title. And I was like, ooh, as a practitioner, I would never say to my client, don't worry about title insurance. It's on blockchain. We've got you in our bag of code. Like it's magically taken care of. I would never say that to anyone. And I think what's really interesting in any white paper that's written about blockchain, one of the most obvious use cases for blockchain as a technology is for recording title. And so this segment is to really demystify what blockchain can do, what it does do, and where the bespoke players in the industry still have their importance in a transaction. So title plant records used to, and in some counties still do, look like this, with pieces of paper and cards in drawers. And this is sometimes where the kernel of a title report starts. Interesting fact, in San Francisco, our county recorder's office burned down not once, but twice. And so they came to SFAR, love SFAR, and they said, hey, it's a little embarrassing, but we kind of need to borrow your MLS records. Can you share those with us? And this is real. And now we've gone from paper records in many counties over to digital. So this is huge. We've got all of the land records, easements, everything that's recorded is slowly making its way in most of the country over to digital. And then the next iteration of that is to put that onto blockchain. A question that I get asked very often is, if I record title on blockchain, is that good enough? Spoiler alert, no, it is not enough. And this is why we need dual recording. We still need to record with the county. And I think of that phrase, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. And we still live in the United States. When we said no thank you to Her Majesty's land records, we went to 3,600 fiefdoms of records. And each one of those fiefdoms is in control of the property records that are recorded, but also the taxes. Mm-hmm. People need to pay taxes because that supports the infrastructure of our country. So we need to also record at the county recorder's office. A digital copy of this recording can be made as a blockchain record. That makes great sense. Again, it is nothing more than a spreadsheet and a ledger, and a great way to keep track of things digitally. So it's still very important to go to your county recorder's office, and this is City Hall in San Francisco, one of the most beautiful city halls, I think I'm a little biased, in the country. So we need to still go to City Hall to record. Next question I get is, if I record title on blockchain, I don't need to pay transfer taxes, right? Again, we must pay the taxes that are due. So there are many layers of taxes that have to be paid. There are laws about this, many layers, federal, state, your local municipalities. So we have to make sure that we follow each one of these, because if we're skipping recording, one, you might get this notice of a tax for not recording, and penalties accrue, and pretty soon counties will get privy to people who are skipping the transference of real estate. So we definitely don't want to run afoul of that or advise our clients to do that either. And also, skipping recording at the county level, it has certain compromises to the overall fabric of American real estate. The property assessment, so this is how we comp our real estate, right? This is how we say, well, okay, this house sold for $1 million. We want to record that the next one sold for maybe $1,050,000. We want to keep track of that because that helps us understand the value of our inventory as we go to suggest to the next seller, this is how much you should list for, or to the buyer and say, well, we think that this is the price that you should offer based on the comps, which are recorded at the county recorder's office. And this is just me saying my kids go to public school. It was a choice that we made to educate them in public schools. That's how our schools get funding. So it's really important to keep that fabric of our community, and we do that by being honest, good citizens and making sure that we record with the title. So blockchain, yes, as a record, doesn't mean that we skip any of these processes of recording. And I love this question. This has to be my favorite. If I use blockchain, do I still need title insurance? Yes. That's the short answer. So if you record title to consortia, if there's a claim on title, guess what? I'm not paying out an insurance claim because consortia is not an insurance company, nor is any blockchain company that I know of. They're not offering title insurance. So the idea of title insurance is to protect against any previously made claims on a property. And if a claim had been made that was missed in that title search, then that claim is paid off, and that's what the insurance pays for. So it's really important to understand that blockchain does not obviate the need for the insurance around the provenance of the property itself. In fact, it's very probable that if we're only relying on blockchain records, that there is another title policy that needs to be issued, more like an E&O policy around that record of the title that's going to a digital ledger. So in fact, more insurance is needed to make sure that all the protocols are being followed and that the data in is good data out.
So you had made a statement one time that you're in your perspective, conservatively, in the next 5 years, half of the houses in America will be on the blockchain. And 10 years, all of the houses in America will be on the blockchain. And your estimate for it taking 10 years was all around the county and all around what it's going to take to go to each of these little counties that don't even have things recorded digitally yet. And expand on that as far as what you think the process is going to look like, because from an agent's perspective, this becomes a very big deal. If conservatively 5 years, and let's say it's quicker than that, let's say in 3 years, half of the homes in America, it could literally mean the difference if people are not understanding how to do this and they're not prepared to do this, that they could actually miss out on transactions because they're not capable of taking people through the process and doing things appropriately. Can you kind of dive into that a little bit?
That's such a big question, and I love it. So yes, this question gets asked, how soon do I think all of this will be on blockchain? I think for me, the biggest determining factor is to follow the money. So one lender we were on the phone with a few weeks ago said, well, we'd really like to fund the entire mortgage through these property tokens that consortia has made. And whoa, that's a lot of money that we're moving for a lot of transactions. I understand the point though, because it has the potential to be safer and faster. And I think that this happens very quickly once the United States and the SEC is really focused, their primary focus right now is on stable coins. And it's hypothesized that the stable coin is the origin of what will come to be the Fed coin. So if we're starting to purely transact in a federal government cryptocurrency, which is highly likely, I would think, over the next 5 to 10 years, then yeah, automatically by default, 100% of our transactions start happening on blockchain, either on this system or whatever other system, becomes used by each one of those parties. So yes, that's what I see happening. And what I find fascinating is we know that I waited on consortia for 4 years. Like, it's been a very empty room for that period of time. But when it took off, it happened like this. Mm-hmm. And my head was on a swivel. If you guys watching this video are like, wait, I need to learn about blockchain, I was also surprised at the speed at which everything took off. So I'm saying 5 to 10 years. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens even faster. And that's there are plenty of studies about that. Once technology really takes off, it happens faster than we ever imagined.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.